Welcome to another show, Multipliers.
Good morning. How are you? It's Friday, Judah.
It's Friday.
Friday. It's very exciting. Very exciting day because Friday's the day we get to unwind. Kick off your shoes, you're done with school, you're done with work for the weekend, and just relax unless you're me because you work on Fridays.
Or me because you go to
Saturdays.
labs on Saturday.
Yeah, because we don't get to, but you guys do, and so that's exciting. I loved Fridays as a kid, still do. They're always going to be special in my heart. But yeah, today, Judah, we're talking about something exciting. I think it's exciting anyways. I don't know about you, but as a kid, I loved exploring.
Yep, me too.
You guys
I used to explore the cornfields.
Cornfields, you guys had, like, Judah was lucky. I always wanted to, I used to beg my parents to go move in the country because I wanted to have woods to go into and stuff. You were lucky because you had that to go do. And you guys used to do all sorts of stuff. I used to go, like, I used to try to find, like, secret hiding spots, abandoned things, like, rooms, all this stuff. Anything I could do that would kind of, like, just be, like, where nobody else knew.
We found, like, caves that were inside of banks that we would find.
That's so
and,
cool.
like, huge holes that we would, like, use ropes to, like, climb down into.
Jeez, you guys were ambitious.
It's cool. We had, my grandpa owned, like, 100 acres, and we had a house built out there, and so we got our free
That's
home.
cool.
Just fun.
That's really cool, yeah. I wish. So today, though, we're talking about, Judah, is abandoned places. Places on Earth that the world forgot. Things are beautiful and like, you're like, wow, why? And we're going to talk about these beautiful abandoned places. The first one I found was Krakow, Italy, which is like Krakow. It sounds like, where they make drugs, but
Could be Krakow, but
Krakow, either they make crazy people or they make drugs, or maybe a little bit of both. I don't know, but it's called Krakow. I don't know. Okay, so this is like, it was built in like 540 AD. But the town's population pretty much is evacuated over time. It's this beautiful hillside village, but all of it was basically abandoned in the 20th century. They in 1963 had a landslide. In 1972 they had a flood. So everything was just abandoned. This beautiful place. It actually was used as a piece of the set in Passion of the Christ, even.
that's pretty cool. I could see that. It looks like something that would be from,
that era and stuff.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Really beautiful. So,
really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was just a really neat one.
The next one is Guji Island.
Googie, what you go?
This is a fishing village on China's Yangtze River. Its left
Yansky over there?
its buildings is covered in ivy and greenery, and it's a really tranquil and striking setting.
It really is gorgeous. Like,
It's really beautiful. Yeah, it's like all covered in like leaves and moss, and
it's like those beautiful, like when you see old buildings that have the moss all in with the brick and everything. This looks really gorgeous. Like, it's amazing. I feel like if you drove by this, you might even miss it because it's all so blended.
yeah, it's on like the side of the mountain. So
I've never seen anything like it before.
It's really beautiful.
It's really cool. Really cool. The next one is Miranda Castle. Now, this was built in 1866. This fairy tale-like structure is in Belgium. It was actually built, but the designer died before he made it in 1907, before it actually was completed, so he never lived in it. It was turned into a Nazi fort during World War II. It was a summer camp for 20 years, but in 1991, they just abandoned it because it was too expensive to keep up with.
I mean, kind of a weird summer camp, though. It's like, oh, let's go to the haunted mansion.
Let's go to this castle in the sky. Don't worry. Come on with me. It sounds very
What would
creepy.
you do there?
Spend your summers there. It's like, oh, let's go have pottery class.
There's probably enough rooms for every kid.
It looks like Harry Potter almost, or something like that. It looks very cool. But yeah, definitely neat. Crazy that they just abandon these places. Like, just literally to leave it all alone, just never go back.
It's crazy. Ross Island is the next one, and this is located in South Andaman, India. And it was an island that was once a British administrative center for the Indian penal settlement. After it was abandoned, it became overgrown with wild ficus. And
Ficuses. They get everywhere, those wild ficuses.
And now it has
What do
a
you do?
stunning Jungle Book vibe.
It does look like it just like needs to be in it. Like apes need to live in here with George the Jungle.
It does, because it's like literally buildings and then trees are just like.
It's amazing to see when
into
like
it.
things of man get overtaken by things of nature. Like it's just like they mold into one and it becomes something so beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like two worlds clashing. It really is gorgeous, and this one is not anything but just absolutely what it is. This one of my favorites actually. This is the floating forest, all right. So this is in Sydney, Australia. It's a bay, basically. It's a ship graveyard where it's like ships that just go to die. But one of these ships actually grew a forest inside of it somehow, like sprouted up. It was retired in 1972, and after that, all of a sudden, this just all started growing. It's really gorgeous and cool. I couldn't imagine.
That's cool.
Coming to this bay and just seeing this really beautiful thing meet you like that. Sydney's a really pretty place. Australia's a pretty place, and to see this is just really cool. It's just one of those things that's just neat. It's like what we were just talking about, nature and man molded together.
It's crazy.
I really like it.
Now this one is super cool too. This is the Monsell Army Sea Forts, and it's basically forts that were built to protect the Kent, England shores from a German attack during World War II.
That's pretty sweet.
But apparently they were discommissioned in 1950, and they briefly served as radio stations for pirates after that point. But they're now abandoned completely, and they're just empty.
I don't see why these aren't hotels and stuff. Like, they're so cool. Some of the stuff, really cool. It's like Airbnb. This is perfect for Airbnb, honestly. Like, rent these things for a night for like $100 bucks.
Yeah, seriously. Even if there's like, well, I guess if there's not electricity,
I'm sure now. Well, I mean, they can have generators and stuff like that. Now we have solar power even on top of that. You can.
It'd be really romantic too.
You just take when you go poop, it just drops out the bottom. Just a hole in there. Nobody's gonna know. No, it's just really cool. It's really remote, but it's one of those things you just would never think about. And it's like I remember when I was a kid, I watched a show on like Extreme Homes or something. It was a guy who turned a water tower into like a house, and he completely converted this old wooden water tower. I thought it was the neatest thing ever. Like you live in a water tower.
Well, we had something like that back home. There's like something you can rent. It's like someone built like a grain silo, like, and made it into a place where people can go stay, and it's actually super cute. Like there's like a winding staircase that goes up the side. It's really cool.
I just think that it's a shame that this is just wasted and left to be, but I think that's really cool. It's definitely neat that it was like a pirates and all this stuff. It's cool to see these places have such history too. It's sad to see that they're just run down. This is Dundas Castle. It's in New York, actually. So this was built by an architect for his wife, but unfortunately he died and his wife like went insane, so neither of them ever got to live in the home. They never got a chance to live in it, and it's just this abandoned castle now. It's this beautiful, beautiful place that was built. And it's so sad that they never even got to enjoy this work of art, really, is what it is. It is rumored that his wife ghosts roam the castle. So I don't believe in ghosts, but we do.
Explain why no one wants to live there.
Yeah, maybe there's like, she's a Debbie Downer, if you know what I mean. Always there moaning in the slot. Like, oh, just be quiet. We know. So I think that's really cool. It's neat to see these places that are just so sad that they never got to enjoy it. But
that is true. The next place is Kayaköy, Turkey. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's a town nestled among the Taurus Mountains, which was deserted in the 1920s because of a political population exchange with Greece.
Whatever that means.
Today there are around 350 abandoned homes in the city, and it's like just nestled beautifully on a little hillside.
Seriously, one of the most beautiful towns I think I've ever seen.
Super cozy looking.
Looks like a card or like a wallpaper of some sort. Like, it's gorgeous. And to think that like there's all these houses. I mean, look how expensive real estate is. You know, like you go to California, you try to buy a house, and it's insanity. You buy a house here, it's expensive. And yet here's all these beautiful homes in this like little village in Turkey, and it's just abandoned. It's like shame, but it's also just this bizarre and crazy. Now there was a ghost town actually from where we're from. There's a ghost town somewhere. I don't know where it is exactly, but I do know it's near Kirksville, where we're from originally. Pretty neat, but
there's a lot of little towns that are going to be ghost towns.
Yeah,
like population 20.
Millard, Missouri, population 98, right outside of Kirksville.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this definitely is.
I just did that.
Oh, this one's me, sorry. This is the Ta Prohm Temple. Okay, so this is in Cambodia. It's this beautiful temple that was abandoned in the 17th century. It's basically just been overtaken by the jungle like the other one. But really, look at how that tree's grown. It's basically, they have to watch it really closely because the architecture's starting to fail, so they have to like watch it and make sure it doesn't just destroy and just be gone, basically. But it's neat to see this temple that's just built and yet it's like taking it back nature. I think it's really neat. I think it's really cool. Neat. It's really beautiful. So
it reminds me of like, which I know there's a different thing that talks about the Jungle Book, but it reminds me of that part in the Jungle Book where they like go to the like temple and like all the monkeys are there and they're going to look for the gold.
Yeah, it does actually kind of look like that. I would give you that. So I think it's just too cool.
The next one is a Methodist church, and it is in Derry, India. Apparently, in
Gary,
1926, it was built, and it cost $1 million and had a congregation of over 3,000 people, thanks to the steel town that was booming there. But as employment declined and as crime rose, it kind of died out. And Dan actually did the converting to figure out how much.
$1 million in 1926 when this was built was like $13,400,000
In today's time.
in today's money. So it's like this $13 million beautiful church is built. All these people go there, but as time it just declines and withers away. It's like sad. That's one of those things. But it's this beautiful church. I mean, think $13 million, and the church was only open for what 54 years before it closed in 1980.
That's insanity.
I mean, 54 years, $13 million. That's just insanity. But it's sad to see the church wither away and stuff. But it's just amazing to see the remnants, the skeleton basically left over. It's pretty cool. It's even like still has some beautiful windows and everything on it, but definitely fascinating. Let us know if there's a cool place you've ever found. I've never found anything abandoned before, other than some houses along the side of the road. But I don't think I found them. I think they've been there for a while because they're on the highway. But have you ever stumbled across something really amazing and abandoned in the forest or wherever else and be like, wow, look at this. I don't know how long it's been since someone's been in this place before. I have not. I wish. I've never even found, I think I found an arrowhead one time. That was cool, but not like that. But yeah, it's really cool, really fascinating. But yeah, well, I tell you what, let's transition into our focus for the day, Judah. All right, so it's time for us to hone in, focus in on what as we're going out this week to start the weekend, have fun, all this stuff. Maybe you're going to make a trip somewhere, maybe to one of these places we talked about today. But it's always good to have that focus to come back and spend some time talking about God, what He wants, and what His plans for our life, Judah. What's this week? Anything cool? Anything you've been reading today that's on your mind?
I have been in Mark this week, and I was recently reading about Jesus cleanses a leper, and one of the things that stood out to me is when they were talking about, Jesus told the leper, to go and show yourself to the priest, but not to tell anyone else about how he'd healed him. But it says, the man went out and began to talk freely about it and to spread the good news, so that Jesus could no longer openly enter a town, but was out in desolate places, and people were coming to him from every quarter. And I thought it was interesting. My little notes down below said that Mark often emphasizes how the crowd's excessive attention to Jesus' miracles is a frequent problem, causing the crowds to miss the true purpose of his ministry, which is proclaiming the good news of the kingdom. I thought that was really interesting because I never really knew why Jesus said not to tell. I was like, why? I mean, did he just not want to I don't know. I don't know. I was kind of confused on. I'm like, why wouldn't you want people to know about that? But I thought it was interesting to see that he didn't want them to just be coming because of the show. He didn't want them to come for the show. He wanted them to come for,
Absolutely. And I think that's what we see today a lot too, is that sadly so many resources and things get taken because people get so involved with whatever the good thing that comes from, whether that's money or resources, and all of a sudden you're
churches, a lot of times churches feel like they have to put on such a big show just to get people in the door. It's like a rock concert instead of what the true reason
Which
is,
we both like contemporary worship and stuff.
We do,
and we don't mind, but it's whenever it becomes the focus of what you're doing that really becomes a problem. I mean, I know my dad always said this to me. My dad's a pastor. He's been a pastor for a long time, beyond 30 years. And he told me one time when I was coming up, I'm a young minister. He was like, Daniel, he was talking about when I was building we were doing our youth group. He's like, if you guys make it a circus, you got to keep a circus to keep them coming. You know what I mean? And then they're not there for the focus of it. And I agree. And you see Jesus, he would speak in parables to kind of send the crowds away because they were there for the wrong reasons. He's like, I'm not here just to heal. I'm here to heal your heart. And so I think it is definitely cool. Kind of goes with what I'm talking about too today, actually. So I'm still in Acts. I'm pretty much done with the book, but I'm going back through because there's so many nuggets to talk about in the book of Acts. But I'm talking about when Paul goes to Athens, and Paul gets up there and he's on Mars Hill. Now, do you know what Mars Hill is? Do you know what Mars Hill is?
I've heard of it.
Mars Hill was the temple to the unknown God. So obviously in this time in the Roman and Greek cultures and everything, there was they had temples for everything, the sun god, all these people, and so, but they literally, just in case they forgot someone, they had a temple to the unknown God, to the God that nobody, nobody knows who you are, but just in case you're out there, we're going to cover you too, basically. And Paul gets up there and makes this really beautiful address to them, and this is in chapter 17, verse 22. He says, so Paul, standing in the midst of Areopagus, said, "Men of Athens, I perceive that you in every way are very religious. For I passed along and I observed objects of your worship. I found also an altar with an inscription to the unknown God. Therefore you worship as unknown. This I proclaim to you, the God who made the world and everything in it, being the Lord of heaven and earth, does not live in a temple made by man, nor does he serve man's hands as though he needed anything, since he himself gives to all mankind life and the breath and everything, and has made one man every nation, mankind, to live on all the face of the earth, having determined and allotted periods and boundaries of their dwelling place, that they should seek God and perhaps feel their way towards Him and find Him. Yet, actually, okay, so that's the gist of what I wanted to say there. So it is. Paul gets up on this temple to the unknown God, and he literally says, you all are praying to the unknown God, but the God of the universe doesn't live in a temple. He doesn't live in anything you can make. He's not in any structure or bound that you can contain him in. He is God. He made the heavens. He made the earth. He gave you the breath that's in your lungs right now. That's the beauty of being a Christian, is that God is not in my control because I mess everything up. God is beyond me. He's beyond time. He's beyond everything. He is right there guiding my steps to where I need to go. And I think that's the beauty of what Paul does here. He gets up to these men and women who are worshiping nothing. And he says, you guys are worshiping stones, walls, but the God of the universe is right in front of your eyes. You just have to open up and take Him. You know, and so much of what we do, we may not have temples to the unknown God, but we have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and we have these people, YouTube, where we idolize these people and make them the focal points of our lives. But God is right there. The things we seek for happiness, like money and jobs and family, they're all these things that are made by man, controlled by these hands, and they wither and they rust. And that's why God says, lay up your treasures in heaven, where rust and decay can't get to them. So we see here, Paul is saying, you're standing here in front of this temple to God you don't know, and He's right there. How amazing is that? You know what I mean? It's just a mind-boggling, earth-shattering thing when you think about the God of the universe is right there and wants us. It's a beautiful thing that He wants to be a part of your and I's life. And yours too. You know, that's the beautiful thing about being a Christian. So maybe you struggle with getting caught up in all the things that happen around us, all the other things about church, and all the stuff that you miss the point that church isn't about the music. Church isn't about anything other than God. It's not about the building. It's not about the things we do. Those are all byproducts. The thing we focus on is God. And that's why Jesus would send the crowds away, because they weren't focused on the core of what they were there for. That's why Paul stood up in front of these people who were seeking to find fulfillment in the unknown God, hoping that they would be there for them. And he's like, you're looking at the wrong place. If you're looking at church for fulfillment, but you're not looking to God, you're not going to find it. If you're looking towards money, wealth, family, anything besides God, you're not going to find it. The beautiful thing. Absolutely. Those truths, if you listen to them and you take them in your heart, they'll do it for you. They'll change your life. Absolutely. So quick brag session, Jude, as we're wrapping up here in our time of focus. And that is, so we have 230-ish subscribers right now. Hopefully that's different by the time this video comes up. Maybe we have more. But But here's the crazy thought, guys, and this is why Multiply Media is so important. In the year we've been making videos, just a little over a year, we have been viewed in 195 countries. 195! There's 196 countries in the world, and that's if you count Taiwan, which a lot of people don't. Even the United States don't even count Taiwan as a country. So, depending on how YouTube's metric is, we've been viewed in almost every country in the world except for one, and possibly even that one, I don't know. It's just earth-shattering to think about that. It's just craziness. And so, that's why we do this, is that, you know, we have subscribers in 30 countries. People all over the world can hear about the good news of Christ. That's why Multiply Media is important. Judah and I have no desire to be famous. Okay, YouTube famous is not something in Judah and I's desire, our prayers. That's not what we pray about. That's not what we're doing this for. We do this because we want to be lights in the darkness, a city on a hill that can't be hidden. We want to be people who spur you onward in love and good deeds. That's why we do this. So if you're somebody who watches our videos regularly and maybe you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you see a video and think it's good, please share it to your friends so that they can get a chance to see and hear about what God's doing at Multiply Media and hopefully what God can do in their lives. This is meant to be a challenge, something that spurs people onward to be something beautiful. And so we're really excited. That fact just blew my mind, made me super duper excited when I saw it last night. And so I was just pumped, excited, and blown away by how great our God is. I hope you are too. So if you like what we do here, Judah, what can they do?
Like, share, and subscribe.
Follow us there. You can follow Judah and I on Twitter. We're both on there. You can follow me on Instagram. Judah's on Instagram
Facebook,
too. Whatever.
everything.
Everything. Follow us. And get all the latest content, guys. Like our Facebook page, Multiply Media. And as always, I'm Dan.
And I'm Judah.
God bless.
And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye. Think that was good?
Oh, that was good. That was definitely better for sure.